Good YouTube, this IQ Domino coming back at y'all with another motherfucker banger. Now tell me we're gonna be going over, a little dating thing with Mr. Macario, Steve the Dean Williams, a Blaze over here on the game, Global. This is a interesting debate. You know what I'm saying? I watched a little bit of it, and we got some of the real OGs, some of the motherfuckers that really introduced me to the game for sure. I kind of started doing my own thing. Of course, that's how the game go. But I'm be honest, I learned a lot from these fellas. So let's see what they got going on.
Let's go. Let's get through these announcements here. Debate 8, number 8. I'm Ice White, creator of Game Global. I'll be acting as moderator and hosting this debate between Mr. Lucario and Ablaze, plus some others that are coming in, some coming in a little later. In the previous two debates, Ablaze debated Marcus Wolf, and then Marcus Wolf debated Mr. Lucario. Now, having both debated against Marcus Wolf, these guys are debating each other. It's like a triangle of debates going on. This shit is getting crazy. Maybe for the next one, we could have a fucking free-for-all between the three guys. I might come in at certain times to realign the conversation, or if it becomes necessary for one person.
I mean, a Blaze could go. I didn't really have an argument. I was just, coming here to spit this game and teach, really. Yes, but go ahead.
Yeah, from my understanding, the debate is, which style of game is most effective? Is it direct game or is it indirect game? So I would like to state, first of all, that I like to apply the concept of going direct or indirect to the entire courtship process. Most people in the community corner the argument into just a debate whether we should open direct or open indirect. But direct tactics, directness levels is one of three key dimensions to our tactics, techniques, and sequences, and they can apply to anything that takes place even after the interaction starts. So the debate, though, is, I think, generally speaking, is it better to be direct with our intentions, to state everything up front? Or is it better to sort of conceal our intentions, unravel them, unroll them in a more calibrated, calculated fashion? I do believe that there's a time and place to go direct. I teach direct game. I don't think there's anything wrong with direct game. But I do believe that generally speaking,
Now I'm gonna give my personal motherfucker opinion. If you really talking to a woman, y'all talking straight off the jump, it fucking depends. Whether you tell her your intentions be known way up front, it really depends. Me personally, if a woman tell me she looking for marriage, I'm gonna straight up tell her I'm not that guy. I always let it be known. Listen, I'm not looking for nothing serious. If it happens, cool. But I'm not forcing that. You know what I'm saying? That's me. Whoever I meet, when we first meet, that's how I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting that shit be known. You know what I'm saying? Like we get into it a little bit. Now I'm gonna let this be known too. If I'm meeting her, I don't just be like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm not looking for nothing serious. I'm not on that. We talk for a little minute. We fill each other out. We gonna know. She gonna know my intentions within like the first 5 minutes, first 10 minutes of our conversation. She's going to know. I gotta fill her out first. I gotta see if I like her vibe. I gotta see if she fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see what's going on with that first. That's what's most important. What the fuck am I telling her? What the fuck am I telling her? Oh yeah, I want some serious. I don't want nothing serious going on right now. She ain't even fucking with me. She was like, okay, it's waste time. But you know what I'm saying? That's really what it is, bro. With me, if you ask me. But let's continue.
indirect game is a more elegant art form. It leads to better results. I believe it's a more sustainable style of game to run. And I'm generally more a fan of indirect game, particularly off the open, depending on the situation. There are some situations where I don't think that's the case.
All right. Well, let's call it what it is. Let's call it. Okay. First off, you don't have any games, sir. You're a pickup artist. Show me. When is a line indirect or direct? Doesn't make any sense. So what y'all guys are doing is y'all are taking something that you know nothing about, and you're trying to use it as indirect. Either you're a man or you're a sissy and you're weak and soft. So If you want to teach these young men to be soft and want to be cowards and want to be weak and want to run behind women, that's fine. But don't sour something that was beautiful that men do. Men, it's not about being direct or indirect. Indirect is a pickup artist term that was come up with a person that stole information from the street. And then y'all guys ran with it. And there's no such thing as indirect as a man. Men are just men. We do not sit around and beat around the bush, play games, and say weak things. That is soft and weak. And for you to use the word game is disrespectful to those who are in the game, because I have game, street game. You have book smart. So everything you're doing, with all due respect, you don't have any game. But to say that you have indirect game, that's a very disrespectful thing to say, big guy, because you don't have any game. Because if you were,
If I could just jump in here real quick, I think it's
sure, you
probably
can.
best to assume that everybody on this call can at least get a girl, which is what we're here to talk about. So
No,
maybe not hack each other and say, hey, you don't have game. You don't. I think we're just here to talk
But
about whether or
no,
not
but sir,
you guys are equal, right?
well, no, with all due respect, Jordan, I'm just saying that these young men need clarification, because y'all guys are taking something, a word, and trying to use it to tie it in. It's not about getting girls, because a game, if you have game, is not about women. So who cares about getting a woman? It's all about a mentality, sir. So I'll be quiet, but please understand this. Because I'm a real one. So the real one's gonna speak up. But I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but please don't disrespect the word, because y'all don't have game. Y'all are just pickup artists using
right here. I get what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna give a motherfucker a chance to talk, cause they ain't like one thing I will always respect about Steve the Dean. He gonna always let you know what he think. He gonna always get you a piece of his mind. But let's go ahead and see what these other motherfuckers talking about. I'm gonna let this shit go on about a good 30 minutes, and I got some other videos to react to. But we gonna see what's going on here.
words to manipulate these young boys.
Hey, my shirt says dating coach for men.com, not pickup artist for men.com. So yes, I am Mystery's good friend and wingman. I'm very proud of my relationship and my collaboration with Mystery. I do have a superhero pickup name, Ablaze.
Oh my God.
I am a dating coach for men first and foremost. I'm a Venusian artist, a practitioner of the arts of love.
Oh my God.
Second.
So Blaze, can you give me a example of what you mean by indirect versus direct when you're interacting with a woman, so we could kind of be like,
sure. So if I'm out in a social situation and there's a group of people, it may not be appropriate for me to walk right up to the woman and state that I'm interested in her. It may be more tactful to open the group, have a conversation with everybody, and trigger signals from her that indicate that she's interested before turning my attention to her, as it's been done throughout history, pretty much. We live in a little time warp right now where we have so many options walking the streets in busy cities where we can just walk up to women and go direct, approach after approach after approach. What do you do in a city of 100,000 people when you're going to go out and socialize with the same people repeatedly? You're going to soil the pot that way.
So when you're indirect with a woman, how do you know?
This is the crazy part about what he's saying. Is I get what he's saying, but this is the reality of what he really saying. He's saying that if women know that you fucking with, you fucking with other women, they not gonna fuck with you, which is so not true. It's so not true. Like, even a woman can know that you got other women and don't like the fact that you got other women and know that you out here fuck with other women. In their mind, they will want to fuck with you more. Some of them will want to fuck with you more. Some of them will claim that they don't want to fuck with you, and down the line of you having a number, you talking to them, you will find out like she really wanted to fuck with me, she just was scared. But it just it'd be a lot of other shit like that going on. So you really can't even say, oh, I'm surrounded by 100,000 women, because you can't even fuck you can't fuck all of those women. You know what I'm saying? And for you to mitigate yourself to saying, oh, yes, an indirect, bro, if you indirectly trying to fuck with a woman, she's going to talk about you. She's going to talk about you, brother. She's going to talk about that experience to somebody. So don't think, do not think that a woman, especially if you meet her at a club, and you meet her at like any kind of like party or gathering where people just going there to socialize, you better believe that she's going to talk about you to somebody, especially if she goes that night. If she goes that night, she talking about you to somebody. I'm telling you, if she goes that week, she's talking about you to somebody. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck if she claims she's a loner. Bro, she's outside. If we talk about being outside, and if you over here being indirect, bro, do not be indirect. I ain't gonna lie. Niggas who watching this, if y'all don't catch nothing what I just said, catch this. Do not be indirect off the jump or talking to no woman, bro. Not off the jump. Not off the jump. You know what I'm saying? That you have to kind of throw it out there. You have to not care. You have to not give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, shorty fine as shit. Her ass fat as shit. You gotta see how she gonna respond. Damn, baby, you look good. You gotta get at her. You gotta get at her. If you don't get her like that, if you ain't coming at her like that, even if you start out indirect, you know what I'm saying? Like, is she looking for me, baby? Even if you starting off indirect a little bit, you getting her. You gotta grab her attention, bro. That other shit, like motherfuckers just trying to have a casual conversation. Oh, the cereal, it's giving friend zone. It's giving boy best friend. And when she friends on you, you're gonna be so hurt. It's cause like you can't start off indirect, bro. It's never gonna work.
If she's actually interested in you sexually, or she's just using you for attention.
If she follows through and hangs out with me. So my first goal is to get through what I call level 2 attraction, which is where there's interest from both of us. It's either implied or stated explicitly, and she actually follows through. So if I interact with a woman and then she goes on an instant date with me, if she goes to another part of the social gathering where we can have an intimate interaction, or if we exchange contact info and she actually meets up with me, I consider that passing through level 2 attraction.
Right, but how do you know she's actually sexually interested in you? She might just be going out with you on a date. Have somebody to hang out with.
Bro, niggas don't talk like this.
Go out with you just to get
level 2 attraction. Niggas don't talk like that.
How do you what indication is she giving you that she is sexually attracted to you versus just interacting with you because she wants male attention?
Well, at some point, I'm going to try to progress the interaction forward, right? When it feels natural, I'm going to go for the kiss. I'm going to sexually escalate. And if she's not reciprocating, if she's not into that, that's an indication that she's either not ready, I've moved too quickly, or she's being gamey, like you said. There is a downside to going indirect. I don't. But
then what's the point if you could have just went direct and then noticed all that from the jump?
Why waste time?
Well, why are you wasting time?
Well, here's the thing. I know why you're wasting time, because I want to ask you a simple question. What are you saying to this woman? Because the problem is with you pickup artist guys, y'all screw these guys over. You're trying to teach guys who are scared of women, who have no mouthpiece, who can't influence a woman. What are you actually talking to a woman about to get this so-called mythical attraction to, or something, whatever that thing is? What are you saying to the woman, big guy? I'm just asking, what is the conversation like? And if it's
so again, this is where direct and indirect, in my opinion, is not just the term that I use off the open. It's a dimensionality that can be applied to all of our tactics. So I may use an indirect tactic of conversing with her friends and look for.
I ain't gonna lie. This when you know somebody is bullshitting you. If you ask me a question, and then she asks me on some shit like, what do you say to a woman? Even if I don't break down a scenario, I'm gonna at least say I'm gonna flirt with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let him know that I'm gonna let her know she look good. I'm gonna let my intentions be known. We gonna conversate. I'm gonna let her get to know me. I'm gonna get to know her. I'm gonna go off the camera. I'm gonna go off whatever she says. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not gonna give a fuck, and I'm gonna talk my shit, and I'm gonna see what happens, because she just shot right now. Where it depend on. None of that was said. That nigga just said some other shit. Like, that's how you know when somebody really bullshitting you, when they cannot answer that question. That is such a simple question. What you say to the hoes? What do you say to the hoes? What do you say to the bitches? What do you say to the ladies? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you say? What do you say? Oh, you know, it's multi-dimensional. You're not answering the question, my brother. See, that's when you know somebody like bullshitting you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of, it's kind of sad though when you really think about it, because motherfucker really can be loyal to a dude like him for years. And just imagine like how much experience that motherfucker probably missing out on, and he just not being truthful about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I'm getting women. He ain't really getting no women. He getting attention from women. He ain't fucking no women. No women really want to fuck him. No women trying to get him to start talking. So they probably, you know, they throwing some shit out there because they want him to get crazy. They want this nigga to talk crazy. They want this nigga to, you know, really say some wild shit. He don't get those. That guy who loyal to a guy like this, he not gonna get those experiences. That's the crazy part. He's never gonna get those experiences. He's never gonna get that. Oh yeah, I'm falling for. He never gonna get those experiences. Not in a real way. Because the shit he's saying, it doesn't even sound real. What the fuck we talk about talking to women? You talk about multiple dimensions. Like, the fuck we talk about Spider-Man? We talking about Spider-Man? The fuck? Get real. We talking about the bitches. We not talking about science. This is all art. This is art. This is not a science, bro. It's really, I ain't like, it's like boxing. You know what I'm saying? You go in that motherfucker, do the 1-2, and you can fight like this the whole time. Motherfucker gonna be like, game over. You know what I'm saying? If you in that motherfucker, jab, dodge, step back, dance a little bit, go right, step left, jab, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3. You know what I'm saying? Like it get. You supposed to have a bag. Basketball, you have a bag. It's an art. It's the same thing. We're going against people. Anything with a person versus a person is kind of an art, bro. It's an art. Not even gonna lie to you, but that's how you know when somebody bullshit.
For signs of interest from her, right? Through my tonality, through the way I project my voice, through a way I angle my body, through different variables like this. Or I may state something direct. I may look at her and say, you know, you're interesting. I'm interested in you. I want to know more about you, right?
Okay.
I will go direct. I will go direct.
Have you ever heard of game perfect pitch? I mean, excuse me, emotional perfect pitch. Have you ever heard of that? No, because you're not, okay, so you don't, okay, so emotional perfect pitch means the moment you open your mouth, you are going to tell this woman your story. And this is where you're hurting these young men, because all these body languages and movements and all this other stuff, like Carl's asking, why can't you just be a man and tell her not to have sex, but look, I'm interested in you. This is what I want to do. Why beat around the bush? That's feminine. Why
So let me clarify something. You bring up a good point. I do believe that for some guys that are new to the game, going direct is good for them. It shows them that, hey, women are generally nice. You're not going to get slapped in the face. You know, you got to man up and take your shot, right? I do believe that going direct can be a good exercise for new guys to get them out of their head. But I believe intermediate and advanced game takes on a more sophisticated art form than just, hey, I want you and this is what I want to do with you.
But so, okay, but
I'm actually a proponent of somewhere in the middle here. I think a direct open, like, hey, walking up and telling the girl that I don't necessarily usually say that she is attractive. I'll usually compliment her on something that she's chosen about her look, because I don't want to just compliment her on her genetics. It's more about, oh, I like your whatever you're wearing that I do genuinely find attractive. But I think the difference here is having this buyer-seller dynamic. It's kind of like if you walk onto a car lot, you're there to potentially buy a car, but you're not immediately sold on her. So yeah, I can compliment her, but I'm not 100% certain yet that I'm going to take her out. I'm not 100% certain yet that she is the kind of girl that I would want to have on a date with me. And so I think that's kind of the main difference. At least that's what I hopped on to talk about today. Is I know, Ricardo, your approach is more, hey, what's your number? Let's go out later tonight. And I'm more of a, okay, well, let's spend like 10, 15 minutes getting to know this girl, but maybe a little bit more indirect, because I'm not just.
But the thing is, my question is, what do you want? Why do you want to get to know her before you know if she's going to cooperate with you? So what I mean by that is, you can get to know a girl if you want, but she still hasn't shown that she's going to follow your lead or go in the direction you're going to go in. And the only way you're going to know that is if you let her know what you want to do in order for her to respond and reciprocate that. So if you're being indirect, you're basically avoiding your program. You're avoiding what you actually want to do. Is that you're
really wasting time, bro. You really wasting time.
She doesn't have direction. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, so it's still up in the air, because let's say, for example, you were actually interested in this girl for whatever reason. You could like the way she looked, the way she talked, combination of things, whatever. You've thought in your mind, this girl seems interesting, so I want to keep talking to her, keep doing this. And in her mind, she's like, I will never sleep with this guy. This guy's a loser. I don't like this guy, but I'll smile, pretend, talk, laugh, do all these things to make him think I will. And then when he's ready to have sex with me, I'm gonna tell him, hey, you know what? Let's just be friends. You know, I don't feel that connection. And so what I'm saying is, you wasted all this time on a woman who was never interested in you. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's the point?
Hey, really quick, man. I appreciate the invite to the panel. Respect to y'all, man. But I just wanted to chime in real quick. So, what does indirect mean?
This game.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, what does that mean? Like, what does indirect mean? Is that like being
Indirect game just means your intentions are concealed. Go ahead, Ice.
Just for me to align everyone on the same kind of thing, because this probably was a concept issue for the last debate. Some of you guys are disagreeing on what game is. Can you guys come on like the same page with what game actually means?
Yeah, so game was created. I think game was definitely created in era of a very strong.
This motherfucker look like a penguin. This motherfucker look like a penguin. Bro, that shit funny as fuck, bro. Nah. What they saying so far, bro, I'm not gonna say whether I agree or disagree, but I will say one thing, bro. You concealing your intentions with a woman will not get you far. It will not get you to where you want to go. I know this from personal experience, bro. If you're not letting a woman know, listen, I'm just here to hit. I'm just here to crush. You know, I'm just here to get to know you and see where it goes from there. You know what I'm saying? It might be a broad that you actually, you know, might get to know her a little bit. You might be like, you know what, I see some potential in this, but you still gotta, you know, put her through the ringer. But you gotta let it be known what you want. Like, I ain't gonna lie, throughout the whole time, it's multiple situations where you cannot conceal it. It's impossible. If you concealing the shit, she gonna look at you like you. She not gonna fuck with you. I'm gonna keep it a bean. She's not gonna fuck with you if you not letting your intentions be known. Like, even if she has the ability to talk to you in a way that turns you on, even if she has the ability to, you know, do all of that shit, it doesn't matter if you're not being honest. Like, you kind of gotta, because you care too much. If you concealing what you saying, and you concealing what you thinking, you can't really operate off of what's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for you to operate off of what's in front of you when you trying to hide shit and keep it a bean. Like, only thing you should hide with your intentions wise is how freaky you really can get, or what you really see the potential of really doing, or which the things that you have noticed about her, like your real chess move mindset. Like, outside of that, like, you gotta be honest. Like, even when you walking her through your chess moves, you still gotta be honest. You know what I'm saying? Cause she got it, and if she really that's how you know she really fuck with you. Cause when you being real and you really walking her through the process, and she going for the ride, you flirting with her, you slapping on that ass, you know what I'm saying? You kissing her, you talking to her nasty. Y'all having a good conversation, you getting to know her a little bit more. She getting to know you a little bit more. She's starting to figure out who you are. She's starting to understand how you move. She's starting to realize what she can do. She's starting to realize what she can't do. You gotta be that honest. You gotta be that cut, because when you be in that cut, you kind of just you give her a reason to feel bad if she get cut off, and you still don't give a fuck, because you know what I'm saying, like, and you still don't give a fuck. Like, even when all that going down, you still don't give a fuck, because you really keeping it real. Like, that realness, that's so rare. Like, niggas like this is actually common. Like, that's what the cutoff that I think, if I had to guess, I don't know, because I'm not a woman, but if I had to guess, that's the reason why it be hurting so damn bad. Like, because it be like, damn, like, it's so many niggas who talk like this, they conceal their intentions, they act like women. This is how women act. Like, I'm gonna keep it a bean. That's how women act. When you talking to a Joan and she not really reciprocating what you got going, and she just moving on how she, she just moving and she telling you what she want to do to you, and you asking her questions to try to figure out how she move, brother, you care too much. You care too much, bro. Get OC, go crazy. Let her know what's on your mind. Let her know. Either fucking with it or she not. If she fucking with it, cool. If she not, get the fuck on. Respectfully.
What game is? Can you guys come on like the same page with what game actually means?
Yeah, so game was created. I think game was definitely created in era of very strong men when they had a strategy of life. It had nothing to do with women. I wasn't raised, the game that I was taught was transferred, from my father and my grandfather. So, everything I was taught was from, very highly masculine men that had a strategy about life. Masculinity was a byproduct of, game was a byproduct of, women was a byproduct of a game. So that's what I was taught. I don't know anything about game has nothing to do with women. So that's what I was taught.
To me, game is simply a man's ability to consistently attract romantic options. Within the context that we're discussing game, that's it. It's a man's ability to consistently attract romantic options.
But you're not, but what you're saying is to be disingenuous, beat around the bush and walk on eggshells. Men don't do that. That's
so
not,
is that what we mean by indirect?
No, that's a indirect game. That is a side effect of indirect game. If it's not used properly, it can lead to those types of behaviors, but that's not what indirect game is. Indirect game is triggering attraction in a woman, getting her to see us as a romantic potential suitor, and doing so in a covert way. It's in the way we posture. It's in the way we dress. It's in our body language. We don't have to shine the spotlight right on her right away.
So let me ask you this: do you care when you talk to a woman? Do you care about the outcome?
Yes.
So you should.
I mean,
so I don't care. Let me tell you. Let me
put this in. Let me clarify. In like a grand existential way, no, I don't. But in the microcosm of the moment, yes, I want to produce a favorable outcome.
So
I don't want to alienate her friends. I want to succeed. So yes, I do care about success.
So you think masculinity actually cares about the outcome?
Yes, masculinity cares about outcomes.
We don't unless it's our outcome, right?
I think we're splitting. I think this is a semantic argument.
No. The reason why I'm breaking it down is because when you use words like indirect, that's not a masculine pathway. So masculine pathway is to do what we want to do when we want to do it on our terms. So if I approach the situation anything outside of what my outcome should be, then I'm being disingenuous and I'm not being who I'm supposed to be. Like I'm very aggressive. So like I don't really care about her friends or how they feel about me or even how she even thinks of me. Really. I'm actually presenting her with an option and her best option. And either she's going to take it or not. I eliminate a lot of women who are not for me very quickly because I'm a man of my time.
And that's a style of game. That's fair. It's a style of game.
But what I'm saying to you is if we're teaching
though, bro, you really cannot care about what happens next. How can you operate like that? You can't. You literally can't operate in a way where you care about the end result and you actually make decisions that actually get you to where you want to go. Put it like this. Like every person watching this, bro, this is at a bad Jones. This imagine is fine. She fine. Pretty fine. All that. She's bad to the motherfucking bone. You see her and she come at you. She say, hey, this was good. Cool. She says, I want to fuck with you. You look good today. You look clean. She's on your dick. What you gonna do? You gonna okay? Well, you gonna conceal your intentions? And y'all having a good conversation. Y'all talk for like a minute. She just said she gonna say a couple words to you. She's not going to continuously keep talking. It's a woman. She's not gonna continuously keep talking to you. She gonna say what she gotta say and say a couple cute. She say some cute shit and that's it. You can be indirect. What's the point? You know what I'm saying? You can be indirect, and you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with that being indirect. If you be indirect, hey, listen, you know, let me get your number. We gonna link up eventually. Or you from around here? You know, okay, cool. I'm not from around here. Whatever the case might be, you know, you let shit be known. But even when you being indirect, you cannot care about the end result. You can't care about the fucking end result. But this is the thing about me though. Me personally, I believe being direct is what really make you get the end result. If you want to play around and you want to be smooth, that's up to the person. Cool. Some people they like to be indirect, and I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way with being indirect or indirect. That's just a way of talking. But if we really being real, you should not give a fuck what happened. I'm not listening to nobody that tell me that they care about what happened next. I don't give a fuck. I have the expectations of meeting a certain kind of woman, but I don't know if you're that woman. The fuck? The fuck? You don't know, nigga? You gotta see if this woman even can you play ball? Can you play ball? You don't know if this bitch can play ball. What are you doing? Caring about a hoe. What if she's a whore? She shows you throughout the course of the conversation that she just wants dick, and you just want to fuck. I don't see if you. Now I will say this though. Me personally, if you find this shit, I might just fuck. But if you not find this shit, you kind of cute, you kind of pretty, you know that kind of shit, I might not fuck. That's just me. That's just me. I may or may not fuck. I've had pretty Jones that I did not fuck. I had a Jones, she was pretty as shit. And her breath smelled like shit. And I told her, listen, your breath smell like ass. Nah. You know what I did? I went home. I did not crush. I did not. I went my ass home. You gotta have certain, and that's why I say, just because a Joan look good, don't mean you should care, nigga. Oh yeah, I'm about to kiss this Joan because she pretty. I don't want to fuck this up. You care too much. You care too much. You care too much, bro.
Men though, so teaching men is different, right? Because I think you would have to say the majority of men are not. They can't decipher indirect and direct. That's something they can't really do. They can't stay on that course of teetering the fence. They're going to either be on one side or the other, right? So if that's the case, if we're teaching men to be indirect, that's how they're going to lead a woman indirectly. And we all know that that's not going to be a successful way of doing it,
I believe direct game and indirect game exist on a scale. And there's even this middle ground where our game is more sphinx-like, right? It's almost indecipherable. And I believe that most guys are intelligent enough, if it's taught properly, to understand the idea of going direct, going indirect, and how they can navigate that in-between space. And I will admit, and I'll acknowledge that if you focus on direct game and you highly refine going direct, you will get results. But there's going to be a burn rate that comes with that. There's a burn rate that comes with going indirect as well. The question is, which way has a greater burn differential? Which way is going to burn more options?
But I think the issue is this is what I'm saying real quick. I think the issue is we're talking about two different things. I think what Blaze is talking about is how do I do something to get the most efficient way to attract the woman? And what we're talking about is we're talking about being a man and only dealing with women who are on our program. So it's just two different things. So Blaze makes it about the woman, and we don't. You see what I'm saying?
I don't.
Would it be fair to
I think there's
say
a point where you need to have outcome independence with any particular girl. Anytime that you walk up, you can't care what that girl thinks. But I think on the whole, if we teach men to just go up and shoot their shot, and 99 times out of 100 they fall on their face, then we need to say, okay, well, there's something that you're doing wrong. Whether that's in your approach, whether that's in who you are, there's something wrong. So on the whole, we do need to have some outcome dependence because we need to optimize.
No, but if you're
hold on. A key difference I'm observing here is influence versus acceptance. Is that something you guys can agree on?
No, because you can influence people indirectly as well. Influence is not always in your face. This is what I want you to do. Influence can be indirect as well. So I want a guy to have maneuverability where he can go indirect or direct. And it's not always calibrating to the woman. I am a fan of running my game my way as well. And my style of game is not always telling the woman right up front, this is what I want.
But sir,
So how is she supposed to know how to respond to you if you're not letting her know what she is getting into?
It's sub-communicated, man. Women are hip to this. Women play indirect game all day.
Wait, no, women are hip to losers, buddy. Women are.
Have you ever seen a movie where there's two people in a room and they're exchanging coy glances with each other, and the guy navigates a social situation to get to the girl?
That's
Right, but this is the part I think that's missing. What I'm saying is this: when you're being indirect, that means there's something that's being concealed, correct?
concealed.
Right? Is that correct?
There's a directness level. So yes, if you're technically on the indirect side of the spectrum, this side of the spectrum, we have directness levels that go up from 1 to 10. On the other side, it goes from -1 to -10. Or we could be at 0.0. So yes, when you're below 0, if you want to get really specific here, if you're between 0 and -5, your intentions are concealed, but socially savvy people will still be able to detect something's going on.
Sir, but
If you're -5 to -10, you're being very indirect, very concealed.
How can you conceal? No, she knows you want to fuck. Can we agree on that? She knows you want pussy. That's what she knows. So the moment she recognizes you want pussy, she's gonna say, "What are you gonna do about it? How are you gonna move?" And then you're saying that, well, let me go ahead and play games with you. What is so special about a woman that I have to beat around the bush, vibe with her friends, and use some magician tricks that a person who doesn't even have game, because you're from Mystery Method Tree, which is from Styles in that book called The Game. So what I'm saying is why would a man waste his time on a woman? What is so special? Just tell me what's so special about her that I have to lie, deceive her, and try to manipulate her?
So again, I think that lying, deceiving, and manipulating, this is twisting what indirect game is about. Indirect game is acknowledging that it's not always the best. So women appreciate your tact when you go indirect the right way.
They don't.
We're having a good time.
give me an example.
We're laughing all the way to the
example.
bedroom. I don't have to tell her, hey, this is what I want to do to you. It's implied as we get to know each other and the vibe builds as the laughs start ensuing. We're laughing all the way to the bedroom. We never had to talk about sex at all. We just
So
had
you think most men are charismatic like that in order to have that type of situation with women?
No, I don't think most men are charismatic enough.
So you're looking at
it is a learned skill. It's something they can learn.
But even the learned skill is not a natural thing, right? Yeah, there's a small percentage. You're talking about a small percentage of guys that can actually, do what you're just saying. And I hear you when you say the vibe, right? But you have to understand. I don't want to refer to myself because what we're talking to me is elementary, right? But to these guys, if we're teaching these men, this is hard for these men to even think about trying to even say hi to a woman, let alone make them laugh, but if you teaching these men to directly let them know the situation, that's a lot easier than to tell them to do something that's already unnatural for them.
I would say it depends on the guy.
Yeah.
I would say it depends on the guy. Some guys, I push them to go direct. It gets them out of their head. It gets them over their approach anxiety. Some guys are ready to learn indirect, and it's not that far out of the realm to teach a guy, hey, you can go direct, you can go indirect, and there's a whole bunch of in between. It's not that complicated.
So is it a thing where you just don't really care about the time like this? So what I'm saying is, like, is time not an important factor when you're doing what you're doing?
No, time does matter for sure.
But then how do you do that if you're indirect? Because when you're indirect, what you're doing is
wasting time.
You're wasting a lot of time. Do you see what I'm saying?
If the interaction is not progressing and the woman is not reciprocating, then I'm going to get the sense that she's not interested in me, or maybe I need to step up my directness levels, right? So yeah, no.
But that's my point. You keep saying if she's interested or not. What I'm saying is you can't tell if a woman is interested if you are being indirect because she's responding to the indirectness. So once you let her know what your actual agenda is or the goal you're trying to meet or where you're trying to go take the situation, that's the only time when she's going to really tell you or show you if she's interested. So what I'm saying, so you have to get back to that. You have to get to that point anyway.
No, we can't stay indirect forever. And look, going indirect and wasting time, that is a potential downside. it's a potential downside, wasting time, but you could also waste a lot of time burning through great opportunities by making the woman decide on
how is it a great opportunity?
Yeah, that's my thing. That's where I got to go push back. You, how do you know that these women that we're talking to at all or is an option? Like, how do you even know it? And why are you giving him credit on great options? Like, what do you consider a great option?
Yeah, like what makes so great?
I like women who listen. I like women who follow directions. I like women who follows my lead. If they do anything outside of that, they have zero potential with me. So I'm confused on what we're asking. Do we want men to go in there and it seems like we're pandering to women. That's what I get. When we go indirect, it seems like we're pandering, like we're placing their being on a pedestal.
Yeah.
In order to get attention, to then engage in a conversation, and everything is on their terms, basically. That's what I'm getting from this whole conversation. And this.
So I think probably the place that indirect makes the most sense would be in a social circle environment, in a place where you're going to see these women repeatedly, because there is negative social consequence to shooting your shot, getting rejected with, say, 4 out of 5 girls in a social circle. That's bad. I think we can all probably agree on that. So if you are a man who's developed some sort of social circle, it's kind of up to you to be an attractive.
Listen, now I'm about to get my 2 cents on this shit. All right. You can be indirect. You can be indirect to a certain extent, but if you don't let her know that you're trying to get with her, not of course, that's a way that you can be indirect. You know what I'm saying? You can be under the table. You can not let things be known. And y'all, like, for example, if you had like a little get together, y'all like a kickback, whatever y'all would call, whatever y'all call it. It's like a fucking, like a lounge, whatever. Y'all talking, y'all vibing. You might get with Joan. You might start jokes with her. You might say a little under the table joke. You might tell a little under the table. All that under the table shit, cool. But I'm just gonna let y'all know, if they got a motherfucker around that's being direct and that's grabbing on her and that's letting her know what it is, that nigga's gonna take that girl from you. That's no longer an option for you, depending on what kind of girl she is. And this is why, me personally, I'm not gonna always go indirect with me personally. I'm not going indirect with every woman I run into, bro. Because I'm gonna be honest, some women intelligence, it's not that high. They're not saying they're not good women. They not intelligent enough to understand an indirect conversation. I'm just gonna keep it a bean. They don't know how to hold a good indirect conversation. If she's very, very fucking shy, if she's quiet, she's not that good at conversation to hold that kind of conversation, bro. So you doing all that shit basically for no reason. I'm just gonna keep it a bean. If you ask me, it depends on how you want to go about it at the beginning. But throughout the process, like, you gotta just let shit be known. You gotta let her know what you like. You gotta let her know, she look good. You gotta let her know when y'all talking. If you talking to her and y'all being indirect, she's not fucking you. She is not fucking you, buddy. It's gonna get to a point where that indirect shit gotta be out the window. If you really wanna fuck, that shit gotta be out the window. All that beating around the bush and building that shit up slowly. It's cute. It's cute. But, nigga, you gotta actually make moves to make shit happen. I'm gonna keep it a beat. All the other shit be bullshit. A lot of what they saying, a lot of what the other dude was saying, I get what he could be saying when he's saying, like, just talk smooth, be under the table, be indirect, just speak creatively. I get it. But you can be creatively direct. You can be creative and direct, too. It's like, girls appreciate it more. Bro, says who? Says who? Since when? They appreciate getting any kind of attention. But when it come down to them wanting to actually fuck, if you ask me, from my personal experience, you ain't gotta always even, cause be honest with you ain't even gotta always be indirect. You just gotta let shit know you gotta let shit be known, so when she think ahead, she know what to feel for. She know what to look for. If she feel like you a no nonsense motherfucker, she ain't gonna say nothing. But she feel like you are a nonsense, you gonna take some nonsense. bro. And I'm be honest with you, why the fuck do you care that much? Why do you care? Why do you care enough to really take nonsense from a woman? That's what you gotta ask yourself. Why do I really care? Like, I don't give a fuck. Why? What am I doing? You really gotta ask yourself, what the fuck am I doing? And you gotta just keep it pushing, bro. That's how you gotta talk to yourself, bro. You cannot babyfy yourself. You gotta talk to yourself like you a fucking, like you one of the ones. Well, what? I'm not. I can get me another bitch another day. I get another. She gonna be probably better, look good, or just look just as good. With a better mentality, I can go find that another day. There's a lot of them out there.